the former Soviet Union and other authoritarian dictatorial regimes.
We're really talking about other people being dictatorial? And Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, as bad as Biden is, you guys are significantly worse, and it's not even close. The Democrats are just way better. They're just way better. They're a trillion times better than Republicans.
All right, so there's a lot I have to say in response to this. These kinds of criticisms from this guy, I honestly believe that these people usually overstate how bad Trump is, and they understate how bad Biden is. Well, you're more ideologically in agreement with Biden than you are in agreement with Trump. Well, actually, when it comes to the First Step Act, I agree with Trump on that. When it comes to pardoning Alice Johnson, I agree with Trump on that. When it comes to TPP, Trump's against it, Biden's for it. I agree with Trump on that. I agree more with Trump on North Korea than I agree with Biden. I would need to be convinced that Biden would fight for at least one or two of my top 5 issues. Medicare for all, free college, living wage, ending the wars, and UBI. The people who say Trump is a fascist and they think he's like, basically, we can't survive another 4 years of America with him. Yes. The country will survive 4 years with Trump. The country will survive 4 years with Joe Biden. Again, I think they understate how bad Biden is. Why? On so many core issues, he's against us. Me, at least. I can't speak for this guy. Joe Biden pushed for NAFTA. He repeatedly pushed for TPP. He's a supporter of the Iraq War. On all the pivotal issues of his time, he was wrong. So stop overstating how bad Trump is. The country's still going to exist in 4 years. And understating how bad Biden is. Because it's annoying. I just don't agree with the people who are like, he's a fascist, he's a Nazi, the country's not going to exist in 4 years. You're hyperbolic and you're ridiculous.
Oh! You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Golden stuff from Mr. Turncoat Dawn.
He was literally the Batman and Robin meme. When Batman slaps him, it's like living it in real time.
Dude, yeah. If anybody listening, if you haven't seen Turncoat Dawn, you need to go check him out. He's got a lot of good shit on there as far as political stuff goes. What is up, everyone? It is Clout Goblins. We're here again on a Sunday. Actually, after next week, next week we'll be able to get back to just Saturdays.
School starting?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, school is starting. We'll have the one Saturday out of the month, but that's not a big deal.
Yeah, we'll work around it.
Yeah. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing all right. Doing okay. Happy, healthy, not COVID infected like I apparently am.
But you must be going for some old COVID money that's still sitting there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're still trying to bloviate what is considered less lethal than the flu to children.
Mm-hmm.
But COVID is super dangerous, YouTube.
I just thought of something that we should have added to the coverage topics. Did you see that Alex Jones clip about the TSA whistleblower that they're going to try and bring down lockdowns in 2 months again?
Huh.
Over a new variant that's going around in Canada?
No.
I just remembered that. Apparently, that trend only lasted for a day, and I forgot about it. Mostly because COVID's so forgettable at this point. But
well, I'm totally expecting it because it's an election year. So, election season.
I think they move on to a different kind of lockdown. Like I was expecting, like the climate lockdowns, which still may be coming.
No, I know we're going to touch on that a little bit, but
yeah. Trying to segue.
I think that's going to be a whole lot harder of a sell than, oh god, the dangerous variant. But even then, even with a new variant, it's just going to be blue states and red states. It's just going to be the end of the original COVID shit.
Pretty much.
Anyway, Flagrant Triggers, Cam, whatever, Big Head, I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Crash Mondo Jr. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Weather's starting to cool off just a little bit, as in we're more in the 90s instead of over 100. So it's been a little bit better for running.
No, I was gonna say like, but this is supposed to be the hottest year ever.
Well,
Freaking
it was
ridiculous.
for about a week.
Yeah, like
Anyway.
I think we've been up in the 90s maybe 2 or 3 times this whole summer, and last summer we were in the 90s a lot. We had weeks. We had like 4 or 5 day stints at a time of 90 plus, and we've been in mostly in the mid 80s, low 80s to mid 80s. We've had a couple of 90 days, but that's it. Like this summer's way milder than last summer was. So let's see. We got some topics for you guys today, though. I'm gonna talk about the Maui fires, since we alluded to the climate change thing. We got that motherfucker's not real girl. A little update on that. And do we want to touch on Elon and Block? Because I know some of that's changed already.
Has it?
At least I think they changed it from. I have to look it up real quick. There was an update though.
There was also a news article that they may be implementing mandatory verification.
Now that is something I would be interested in, because
Like almost as if he decided to go the Jordan Peterson route, or at least that's what Jordan Peterson's been preaching for a while. That he thinks that there shouldn't be anonymous troll shouldn't be allowed on the platform. But
yeah, no, I think, dude, it ruins so much. Like, and honestly, I mean, there are some benefits to blocking people, like especially for bigger accounts. I think the benefit's more for bigger accounts, because you got some CNN reply guy to Trump. He's got like 300,000 followers or something, and Trump blocks him. Then he's got to create another account or something like that, or a quote tweet or some bullshit like that. He's not going to have the same impact. But as far as like personal safety stuff, like people can still find ways to find you. Like,
they can, but it does still. If you force a person to constantly create accounts, you do lose a significant portion of those trolls, because most people are lazy online and don't want to go through that effort. They'll move on to trolling somebody else. So I do see value in it. Just like I see value in the ban or mute button on Twitch or YouTube as a moderator. Like, yeah, force them to create another account. It takes me 2 clicks to ban somebody who's a bad actor in the chat.
mm-hmm.
And it takes them a lot more effort. Most will not bother with that effort. And so I do think there are some gains. Like it's somebody who is dead set on harassing an individual. They'll just keep creating accounts. Like, just look at the Melanie Mac stalker situation. If you remember, he created counted at over 20 accounts.
Yeah, I was gonna say he had like 20 some accounts, didn't he?
It was like 26 or something like that. It was insane.
Damn, I forgot to dress up.
And he went to the point where he created his own YouTube. Well, I mean, he already had a YouTube, but he started using his YouTube to just target her.
Yeah,
and try to clout. What do you call it? I mean, he was basically a clout goblin at that point.
Yeah, well, he was doing a bunch of projection apology too.
Yeah,
like trying to force all his shit onto her and saying that's why it's affected him like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, block. I mean, I like block. It's easy to do. You just block someone. And for anyone listening who doesn't know, you can actually do a force unfollow too. If you block someone and then unblock them, when you block them, it'll delete they're not following you anymore. But if you unblock them, then it doesn't show them that you're blocked if anything of yours does pop up. And that's a way to kind of psychologically miss the bullet on people who are trying to get instant crap from you every day.
Yeah. Or I mean, there's even an option to, without even blocking and unblocking, if you just there's another option to just remove the follower if they follow you.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any difference in how the algorithm works between the two. But.
Well, I guess it depends on if following is the same as viewing the page.
True.
Hey, what's up, Rob?
And
What's up, Z?
Rob.
Yeah. Well, I guess I guess we're doing the Elon stuff first.
Yeah, I guess we're going backwards. It's fine.
Yeah, it's all good. I don't know. Still not super happy with Elon because he said he was going to bring like the free speech particle back to Twitter, and there are still a lot of people who are banned, and like Alex Jones is the biggest one standout to me because Elon is literally keeping him from the platform because of his personal feelings about SH.
Yeah, and then they haven't done anything about false flagging operations that is very common on the leftist circles. With if there's somebody they don't like, they'll just mass flag particular accounts to get them suspended. And I don't. He hasn't even tried to address that, and how to make that system better so that you can't. While you still have a reporting system for abuse and stuff that aren't allowed on the platform, how do you deal with the false flaggers? So there should be some sort of consequence for doing that,
Well, that, and then you've got the whole porn situation. Like, porn is still super easy to find on Twitter.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, hell,
not,
it trends sometimes on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's still. I'm wondering if. I don't know, because I don't know if he'd just have to like crash the system to rewipe it and rewrite it.
Well, he has claimed that they are actually building a new system from the ground up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's probably what he should do and just install it over the current version.
I mean, and obviously take it with a grain of salt. Some people trust Elon, some people don't, and it's understandable. But yeah, he has made the claim that the shadow banning code has way too many layers and it's too hard to peel back without breaking the system. So he claims that he's got a team that's literally just rebuilding it. What that looks like code-wise, I have no idea because I've never seen Twitter's code. I don't know what they use to build that platform.
I would imagine Twitter's code compared to other platforms is probably not that crazy.
It shouldn't be. I mean, it's just a large database.
Yeah.
Most of the code is in the sorting algorithms for people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and switching it over, I guess it depends on how they did the tables for user data.
Mm-hmm.
And how, like, I guess it depends on how those are tied together with like follows and blocks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't mind having to. It'd be a pain in the ass for sure, and I think he'll lose a lot of people if it's just like fresh start. You have to refollow all your people and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would, I think that would turn a lot of people off. But if he could do it to where you still had at least your follows and your followers, I think nobody would give a shit.
Yeah, and that I wouldn't think that would be hard to do. Migrating tables is not a tough thing. It really isn't.
Wait, well, the user table would be super easy. Like I said, I guess it depends on what kind of links there are between the user tables and the follower tables, and the connections between them, and how they're tied together. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Twitter.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he obviously got a lot of backlash for it, and then started just blocking people. I don't know. He's in this like, okay, so he's obviously semi-trolling. So was he even serious about removing the block button? Or, of course, Linda weighed in and said that they're planning something better than block and mute, and I believe
that's what it was.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's the rumored mandatory identification or verification.
Yeah.
I forgot who reported that. I did not. I failed to bookmark it, but I mean, that's kind of that's the way Facebook started off. Actually, was that you had to be verified because it was based like you had, first of all, you had to be a college student, so they verified versus the your email domain.
Yeah, what's up,
There you go.
Welsh?
But now, I mean, Facebook is just, you know, wide open, and you can have as many accounts as you want.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of that will stop with troll stuff too, because if you have to make a verified account, are you even going to be allowed to have a separate account? Probably, because you're going to have like government officials, their official account, and then their personal accounts. So I can see instances where you would need to, but are they going to allow separate ones for like parody accounts? Or
I don't know. It's a very good question. So like, if having ID verification for these kind of platforms, like it's a trade-off, right? Like I see value in being able to be anonymous. Obviously, I have Crashmundo is not my real name. I don't put my real name out there because I want people to easily just dox me. But there are gains in there. It makes it easier to control and moderate. So to address the problems that even free speech advocates see a problem with, you know, things like the CSAM, you know, child abuse material.
Yeah.
And then just abuse, doxing, harassment. It does make it easier to control that kind of behavior, but it also makes it easier to control everyone's behavior.
Yeah,
right?
and that's the thing too. And then it goes to, are you going to let everyone on the platform? Or are you going to block based on your preference too? Like the Alex Jones thing.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, it is his platform. He is allowed to do that.
Yeah.
I have to address this because this blows my mind. There are people who think that the block button is actually against their free speech rights. And I want to say this absolutely clearly. You do not have the right to an audience. You do not have the right to any platform.
Or demanding anyone's attention.
Right. You do not, like, in my house, you do not, if I say that I don't want you in here, you do not have the right to be in here and yell at me. Even if I invite you in, if you are saying things that displease me and I say, no, get out, you have to get out. It's the same thing with your timeline. Your timeline is not a public forum. The only exception is public officials.
Yeah, because the catch there is public officials are not, they cannot deny the voice of the voters.
Exactly. Like, they have to be accessible for us to redress grievances. You know, that is part that comes with the job, and the Supreme Court validated that. But that does not extend beyond public officials. But I've seen people throw that case around because I think it was with Trump trying to block certain people.
It was AOC.
No, AOC came after.
Oh, really?
Basically, what happened was AOC was I think sued based on the results of that decision. That she had to unblock people. Right. Yeah. But Trump was the first, and then AOC got caught in that because she was blocking people. But it's like, no, you're a congresswoman now. You have to leave your timeline open for public discussion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely see the merit to it though, because like you said, stopping trolls and spammers and the porn and stuff like that, it'd be extremely easy. And if you're doing a verification system and you're only giving multiple accounts for special occasions or specific instances, then yeah, you can get people off of there, no problem. The only thing is the way people get their views, attention, spread their shit, even if no matter what it is. But porn is especially good at finding ways to get anywhere. And I'm wondering what kind of limits there are going to be. And even then, it's, well, I guess if you have to have verified users, then it'll be easier.
Yeah, because as far as creating a new account, you know, you'd have to start falsifying your identity to create a new account if you got banned off of the platform.
Yeah. Well, I think it's
while it's still possible, it's obviously a ton more work.
I think it'll drive. I think it'll drive a lot of people to other platforms though, because
It'd be nice
there's
if
a
there was an
reason.
actual, truly decentralized platform.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there's not really a platform that exists, but there is like a framework that exists called the what is it, the Fediverse. Tim
Mhm.
Pool and Ian Crossland talked a lot about it.
Yeah.
And it may incentivize people to develop on that framework and perhaps build something that is truly decentralized. And again, it'll be a trade-off. Like if you don't have a moderated platform, you'll have more trolls, more just all kinds of evil, even on the platform itself. If you don't have control over it, but you will have free speech. So you just have to kind of decide what do you value more.
Yeah, and I think, well, that's what I'm saying. People like the internet because they like their anonymity. They like to be able to say gross and disgusting things to women, or like models that they're cyber stalking or fapping to every 5 hours or something like that, or trolling people like Chrissy and them. They like having that veil.
Yeah.
And if you remove that, it's going to detract big time, in my opinion. I think if Elon does go to ID verification, then X will probably die,
Yeah, I think so.
because I mean, let's face it, getting and it's not just because of necessarily everyone knowing who you are, but it's because of other people, you not knowing who they are, and their ability to comment or share whatever, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. And just as far as a marketing standpoint, the more accounts that see your shit, the better off you are. And if you're going to limit that to one person per account, and they can't create a bunch of sock puppet accounts or anything like that, because let's face it, PR teams, they have multiple sock
Yeah,
accounts that they
yeah.
use to prop up certain things or people or figures. And yeah, from a marketing standpoint, I think if he goes to that kind of verification, unless he's got something in the bylines for making cutouts for PR teams and shit like that, which that's pretty slimy still.
Yeah, yeah. To me, it's
That's
you got to be kind of an all or nothing on this.
Yeah, it's
Nepotism
gatekeeping.
is just nepotism, especially if word gets out that he's showing favoritism just for the sake of money. You know,
Yeah.
what
Well,
little respect people have for him is just going to be gone, and there's going to be little reason to stay on the platform.
well, would just turn Twitter or X or whatever. It would just turn it into the gatekeeper media in legacy media.
Mm-hmm.
You would only be able to see.
We're basically right back where we started.
Yeah, yeah. It's TV news 2.0. That's all
Mhm.
it is. Advertising, information, news, anything like that. So yeah, I do think it would. I think it would kill X for sure. I guess it just depends on how much Elon cares about his return on it.
I think he does care because I don't know. He had kind of a big vision of this X app. Like he's not just wanting to build a social media platform. He wants it to handle
Be the
financial
all-in-one.
transactions. Yeah, he wants it to be
Yeah.
this kind of all-in-one app, which is both kind of amazing and scary at the same time. Especially when you're if someone who's a Christian, and you
Well,
wonder like where does the mark of the beast? How does that work? Well, maybe if it's linked to your ESG score on your X app, maybe that's how they keep you out at the grocery store.
well, it's not just that. I mean, look at all of the proven government information feeding from
Hmm.
all of the platforms. Imagine how easy it would be for the government to control people then. And then it's going to take like 8 or 10 more years before someone says, "Oh, look what we found for that they were doing back then." Like that doesn't fucking help us now. Or
Yeah,
if
when some new hero buys the platform.
yeah. Or Congress actually fucking does something worth of shit. Or there's a whistleblower that doesn't get murked.
Well, don't hold your breath on that.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. So let's talk about. You want to do climate change next? Good old climate change, or we can do the freak out chick.
Yeah, because I don't want to end on the on Miss Tiffany Gomez, if that's her real
Okay,
name.
yeah. Well, we'll go and get in that. So I'll let you handle this one. Like I've got the Twitter video pulled up.
The you're talking
The
about
apology.
her what do you call it? Response when she finally came
Yeah.
out in public and apologized.
Yeah. Hold on.
All right, let's go ahead and watch that.
Okay, so like right there, to me, I'm sorry, she looks dosed.
I mean, that might be mid-blink. Come on.
It could be. Okay.
Everyone, it's me, Tiffany Gomez, probably better known as the Crazy Plane Lady, which is
That's not what you're known
warranted. As you know, I have been unwilling to speak on the viral video, but I do finally feel that it's time. First and foremost, I want to take full accountability for my actions. They were completely unacceptable. Distressed or not, I should have been in control of my emotions, and that was not the case. My use of profanity was completely unnecessary, and
Who gives
I
a
want to
shit about
apologize
that?
to everyone on that
Yeah.
plane, especially those that had children aboard. Can't imagine going through that and trying to explain to your kid what in the world just happened. We all have our bad moments, some far worse than others.
All right, that's
and
enough.
mine happened to be
This video is not terribly helpful, to be honest.
Not really.
Because she doesn't explain what actually happened. You know, if she was on something, you know, if it was some kind of like bad shroom trip or acid trip, let us know. Or did you actually have an interaction with some crazy person on the plane? You know, who was that motherfucker and why was he not real? In your mind.
Well, so it's came out since then that she started going after somebody outside of once she got off the plane, and apparently she assaulted somebody else and pushed them or something. And
is there okay, so we got to be careful because there was a lot of stuff that has come out and a lot of it was proven false because people had tried to jump on that story for clout chasing. And there were even people who claimed to be on that plane and then were later rescinded their story saying that no, that I was just doing parody or I was just trying to jump on the trend. Like the whole like something about somebody taking AirPods story, like I believe that was shown to be false. And as far as assaulting, that's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah, I get.
Unless that was caught on one of those other videos, which I didn't. I saw one other video, and then there was a second video of her.
Yeah. So
this is after the planes. Okay.
Yeah, this is after she got off the plane.
One.
Yeah. Apparently, this is the body cam footage of. Why is it not playing?
So I was just sitting right here. She just kept me. Did she tell me anything before that to you? No. You didn't say anything to her? No. Are you okay? You hurt? Yeah. No, I'm okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so apparently she pushed some dude like getting off the plane. I don't know. I'm not going to put much into that, but
yeah,
she like it says down here that she was never tested for public intoxication. And I don't know. Looking at this, it's one of two things. She was super intoxicated on, and I'm gonna say, bad acid trip, some kind of downers that made her like not visually see things very well, or something like that, or it's a publicity stunt. Like,
Could be. Or maybe she saw a demon or a lizard person. I've been saying that lizard people are going to come out. I'm still waiting for it. I'm still holding out hope that we're going to see lizard people before the end of 2023.
Have you heard about the conspiracy about all of the American presidents?
Do explain. I probably have, but I'm not sure what you're alluding to.
So yeah, this 12-year-old in Salinas, she did a project for like a science fair or something, and she found out that all of the presidents except for one are all descendants of King John. And what's crazy about King John? Let's see, House of was it Plaget? Yeah, it was the house of that was the house of Plantagenet or something like that. And apparently that
But
house.
King John, are you referring to? Well, yeah, King John of England.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When was his rule?
King John of England was. $1199 to $1216.
Okay.
But apparently his house made a contract with demons to maintain control. And
I mean, I'd believe it.
Yeah, at this point I would too. These people are fucking evil.
People do make contracts with the devil. If you don't believe that, go read your Bible. Come back later.
Well, it makes you wonder, like, yeah, I was thinking about this the other night. I'm like, well, if that's true, like, maybe, what if we are in hell? What if this is hell?
It's not, but go on. I want.
Yeah, it's. Well, I mean, suffering comes in degrees, right? But
hell
a lot
is
of people
suffering. There's no.
Yeah.
In hell, there will be. So, like on Earth, we have the evil, but we also have the good. In hell, all of the good will be removed. There'll be no rest. There will be all despair, like all of the negative feelings and none of the positive feelings. You'll never feel any rest. You'll never feel. Like you'll be dehydrated, but with no water. There'll be no peace because it'll be loud. Because I mean, obviously, the tormented souls there will be screaming, and it'll be nonstop.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the difference. And so like, I get the argument. I get why people are just like, yeah, there's so much evil here, but yeah, but there is the good. You have to acknowledge that there is the good. I mean, one, we're alive, we're breathing. All of that is just God's grace. And in hell, like, I mean, imagine not being able to breathe, not being able to rest. And just like imagine anxiety multiplied by 1,000. If you've ever, anybody who has had any struggles with anxiety or depression,
or as Rob said, you know. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get that there's some places where it seems like that would be hell, because it seems like evil is just rules over those areas. Like think about a place where they are trafficking children, and the torment that they are putting onto innocent souls.
Okay, but so if we're not in hell, why is there so much evil that controls society? Why are there so many evil people who are in control all across the world? Why does the good
Because
guy
man
never
sinned.
get that chance?
Huh? What is what?
Why does the good guy never get the? Why are there not more heroic, good-natured, positive, uplifting people that are in
Because
charge
human
of
nature,
society?
because that is human nature. Jesus said that the wide is the path and many will go through it. Is wide is the path to destruction and many will go through it. Narrow is the path to righteousness and few will pursue it. That's not. That's just an indictment on human nature.
Yeah.
Most people will, because evil is easier.
So, okay. Did you hear about the 2,000-year-old machine that they found?
No. I feel like we're starting to turn into that other neurotics podcast.
Right?
Adam and Garrett. Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Let me share this. I think it's the one that was it. God, what is his name? Michu Kyaku? What is that? Dude, God.
I don't know who you're referring to.
He's the Japanese scientist who's on Rogan sometimes. But yeah, it said the world's oldest known computer lay submerged for more than 2,000 years off the treacherous coast of the Greek island. And computer's bronze gears, mechanical parts slowly warped and rusted. And this was after a shipwreck. The divers apparently went down, and they found a bunch of other wreckage that was covered in barnacles and coral and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess whenever they dated it, it was supposedly 2,000 years old.
And where? Oh, where was it again? It's set up near the top.
Antikythera,
which is
Greek.
Greece. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's off the Greek island of Antikythera. So, I don't know, man.
The sun, moon, eclipses, planets, and the schedule of the Olympics. Interesting. So.
Yeah, so we know now that the clock-sized device contained an elaborate collection of some 30 interlocking spinning gears that control dials tracking the sun, the moon, eclipses, planets, and the schedule for the Olympics. Turning the handcrank jutting from the device's likely wooden frame spun the gears, which moved the hands on the dials. And they say like nothing. So okay. So this isn't an actual computer so much as it is a wind-up clock.
Yeah, it's like a giant grandfather clock.
Yeah.
Well, I say giant. Like how big was the machine? I guess.
I don't know how big it was. I don't think it was that big, but like still 2,000 years ago, something that precise is created. Yeah, I'm more and more of the believing in the theory of we're descended from a previous civilization, and it got wiped out by cataclysm or impact or something like that.
Maybe a great flood.
Yeah. Well, like why? Like it raises good questions. Like why are there no written records of Atlantis or anything like that. Like
Mhm.
it's talked about in all kinds of ancient texts, and there's no proof that it actually existed aside from that.
True.
I can't remember which one of the guys, one of the archaeologist guys on Rogan says that Atlantis is somewhere, but it's beneath, it's on the ocean floor now. And they're not sure where. I don't know. I feel like they would have found it by now, though.
Well, not necessarily. The ocean is vast. There's a lot of the ocean that is just unexplored.
Well, and we'll never be able to explore it either.
Yeah, some of it just because
Not
of
with our technology.
Yeah.
You'd have to get some type of anti-gravitational mechanics going on to survive the pressure. That's the big thing why people can't go down any farther, is because the pressure. You think you're in the water and you're floating in the water, and no, what's happening is whatever water's below you is like a concrete slab, and the water above you just keeps piling on more and more weight. So the further you go down, the heavier the weight on top of you is. That's why when you're scuba diving, if you go down so far, I think it's once you get past like 100 meters, you have to stage yourself back up, because the pressure is so high that the nitrogen in your scuba gear that you're breathing in to your body that gets filtered through, it actually causes the nitrogen to filtrate into your body. And if you rapidly come up, then the nitrogen, when you're expanding it, some shit like that, it causes you'll die. You can die.
There's a name for it. I can't remember what it was called. But I mean, there's also a nickname for it called punching out. If you panic when you're really deep and decide to just kind of go for the surface really fast.
It's
the bends. Thanks, Rob. You got it.
Yeah, it's called nitrogen narcosis. Wait. Yeah. No.
Well, I think it'll literally change state in your blood. It goes from liquid to gas, like really quickly, and causes all kinds of problems in your circulatory system. If I remember correctly.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly, I'm talking about the One House episode that I watched on it.
Yeah. Well, so the nitrogen starts forming bubbles from expansion. Like a lot of people don't know, like when you're coming up from a dive, you want to keep breathing out, because if you're going, like, say it's like I don't know, what, like 60 or 80 feet or something. If you're down that far, like on your way up, you have to keep blowing out, because if you don't, where the decompression is happening, your lungs are expanding because the oxygen and the other molecules in there are no longer being crammed together. So they're spreading out more and more, causing your lungs to inflate more and more. And if you don't actually blow out, you will literally pop your lung. But I don't think your body's. I don't know. I don't think it's possible to not have that natural reaction to breathe out at that point.
Yeah, I mean, just from holding your breath for long enough, you feel like you have to expel CO2. Like, it's actually not the gasp reaction that you get from holding your breath is actually not from the lack of oxygen. It's from holding in the CO2. Your body wants to expel it. So it's hard it'd be hard to continuously hold your breath for that entire time.
Yeah, I've heard that feeling of wanting air, like if you can actually get past it and you can train your body to not to freak out, then
it's called hypoxic training. You're training through the hypoxia.
Yeah, because as long as you still have some oxygen in your system, it's getting to your brain will still work.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a concern for people who free dive because
Mm-hmm.
they they get used to it and then they don't know when they need a breath. For those who don't understand what I mean by free diving, I'm talking about those who aren't using like scuba gear. They do deep diving.
Yeah, they're
from the
going down like
surface.
40, 50 feet
Yeah,
and just staying down there for like 5 minutes at a time.
yeah. But if you lose track of time, and then you might just pass out from the lack of oxygen because you haven't gotten a breath, and because you've learned to ignore the gasp reaction.
I would actually be worse at diving than you. For one big reason.
Okay, why is that?
Let's see if you can guess what it is.
I
I'm
mean, the only
missing something that you are not.
I mean, there's that part of your pancreas, right? But
Mhm.
what else are you
What?
missing?
My spleen.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
So
what is that? What role does that play?
So your spleen filters out the decomposed red blood cells because red blood cells only
Oh,
last so
okay.
long and they degrade, and so the spleen
Right.
filters them out and recycles them, breaks them down into their base components, and then they get reabsorbed or expelled.
Yeah, I'm gonna give credit to Rob for guessing it before you announced it. So
Oh yeah,
you remembered. Okay.
yeah. I remember watching. I can't remember what documentary it was, but there's some remote area in the Congo or in the Amazon or something, and these people can just free dive and they can stay under for 5, 6, 7 minutes at a time, and it's nothing to them. And they
Mhm.
found out that their spleens are like 30% larger than any other. I wouldn't say race because it's not a racing; it's just that tribe thing.
I mean, I guess is that just adaptation? If you stimulate it enough, does the spleen respond to like if you go through hypoxic training? Is that something that would naturally happen?
Probably. Yeah. So it holds like, so even if red blood cells aren't, it holds excess ones as well. So ones that aren't being used, it gives it a
Yeah, I
chance
see
for
Rob like
oxygenated.
you guys are
Yeah.
like in sync right now.
Yep. I'm supposed to know all this crap because I went through nuke med. I know about all the organs and shit. I don't know. I've probably forgotten a lot more that I've probably forgotten more about it than most people know. But if you're not going to go into that field, why would you?
Right.
Most people don't pay attention to it, which is kind of crazy to me because you should know what your body does and how it functions, at least to a basic degree.
Well, we outsource it to doctors and nurses so that we don't have to think about that.
who have been co-opted by the insurance companies to outsource it to big pharma.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my god! Did you see where they're trying to bring back woolly mammoths?
Was this some sort of Jurassic Park thing? Like they're gonna clone
pretty
it?
much. Yep. They're
Huh.
They're taking the Indonesian elephant because apparently it's the closest relative to a woolly mammoth, and they're using CRISPR to build woolly mammoth DNA chains.
That should be interesting.
That's, I don't know, man.
I mean, they successfully cloned animals for years at this point, maybe over a decade. I don't. When was? That was a long time ago. Well over a decade. What? When was that sheep? What was her name?
Dolly.
Dolly.
Mm-hmm.
That was like mid-2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
It's almost 2 decades.
I might have still been in school.
92? No way. No way.
Dude, no, what?
What? I was 9 years old. What?
No, Rob, it was 96.
Okay, it makes me feel less old, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Still, that's, come on, man. What kind of
Wow.
command? Well, I mean,
So
everyone
it won't
said.
surprise me if they're able to. It won't surprise me if they're able to pull it off. But it was what I was getting at. Since, yeah.
Well, think about that technology back then.
Yeah.
And then everyone just said, "Ah, Alex Jones is crazy. They're not making pigs with human organs in them." Wrong. I guarantee if they really, really wanted to, they could probably keep someone going for a long time.
There probably are people that they are keeping going.
Damn. Now I'm remembering all the conspiracy crap I've seen over the past week. Apparently, the FBI files that were declassified a while back did not confirm that Hitler was killed.
You what?
Yep. So apparently those FBI files, the skull that they found with the bullet hole in it was a female.
You are. I am losing my words.
Let's see. See, this is also where you got to be, you got to be careful about, because deepfakes are going to have this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh God, here it goes. Here you go, buddy. Like, this is from the mouths of big media. 2020. It's not this. Test on skull fragment casts doubt on Adolf Hitler's suicide story. Bone with bullet hole found by Russians in 1946 came from an unknown woman, not the German leader. So, okay, question. Well, first of all, I don't believe that anyway, because that looks like a bullet hole straight into the top of the cranium. That does not look like an exit wound. That looks. That doesn't look like an exit wound to me.
Well, what's the other side look like then?
I don't know. I don't know if they. Yeah, they don't.
I mean,
maybe it is, because there is some
we already know about
cratering
Operation
around it.
Paperclip. They brought over a bunch of his scientists.
Yeah, I mean, well,
they basically created NASA from.
Where did I think Forrest Galante said? Was it Argentina or Chile? Yeah, this is in the mountains of Chile. He went down there, and he said it's basically Germany. And Joe Rogan's like, what do you mean, like a couple thousand? He's like, no, like 300,000. And yeah, there apparently are thousands of high-ranking Nazi officials that they never found and who fled.
Yeah.
And man, I'm waiting on Hellboy to show up from the first movie. And that's to start seeing some crazy Nazi shit going on. Oh yeah. There were all kinds of human experiments and hundreds of fucked up
very
things
familiar
that
with Fort
happened.
Detrick, Maryland. Yeah.
Oh, you are? Something you need to tell us, Mr. Crash?
I'm not sure if I'm allowed. No, actually, because it was government work. But
how'd you get to? Oh, yeah, the government. Yeah. You want to go into your little friends gathering?
I ain't about to let them throw me into Guantanamo for no reason, so I'm just gonna keep quiet. But yeah, I've been there. I've had some projects on that particular base. So yeah, I'm not surprised.
So one of the things that did you watch the Vivek and Tucker interview?
No, I hadn't gotten a chance to watch that yet.
I watched part of it, and one of the things he says is like, hey, stop hiding shit from us and just tell us the truth. Because they're trying to act like you can't, like, Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, tell us the truth so we know how, like, where to start. And I wonder how many people think, oh yeah, they found Hitler, but they don't know it wasn't actually Hitler at all. What
I mean, a
what
lot
they
of
thought
people
was
still
Hitler anyway.
didn't even. I mean, look at the Kennedy assassination.
Hmm.
Like, we know now that they were behind it, but
Well, and
I mean, MK
9/11.
Ultra was declassified long ago, and you know what's not in those documents? Them shutting it down.
Yeah. Well, then 9/11, like Vivek just straight came out and tweeted, the 9/11 Commission lied to us, and there was CIA involvement. There was some kind of government involvement. Did you look at the origin story for those pilots? The hijackers who piloted the planes?
No.
Apparently they were, so the initial 9/11 Commission, the guy who trained them said he found them at the airport one day and just let them move in with him.
Oh, I vaguely remember that. It's been a while since I've watched anything on the 9/11.
Yeah. Well, and then they come to find out that Saudi Arabian intelligence was who was backing those guys up.
Well, yeah, that's one of the more interesting things about Trump's so-called Muslim ban.
Mm.
And so this is a point against Trump. Saudi Arabia wasn't included in that because they are our allies. But yeah, they were the ones who funded. They were a big financial backing of the 9/11 hijackers. If any country should have been on that list, it should have been them.
Yeah.
And I mean, it made sense why he made that decision. I'm not saying it's a good reason, but I mean, essentially,
oil.
Yeah. I mean, that's the main thing. Is just they're another supplier. I mean, yeah, we do have oil reserves here, and we somewhat prospered from it, despite the fact that the environmental activists and the left keep trying to shut down oil altogether.
Well,
but OPEC is still, you know, I feel like there's are they still considered king in the oil supply?
I'm not sure. I mean, OPEC's over the they're over the Saudi Arabian or the Middle Eastern countries, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't remember the specifics of how that worked, but it's essentially it's the Middle East. Everything in the Arabian Peninsula there, I think, falls under there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they are, but I'm also sure that there is oil in many other places.
I mean, there are, but some of the countries that found oil that ended up, you know, screwing up. What was it, Venezuela?
Mm.
Was a big one, and then they went under because they printed their currency into oblivion.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with any kind of American interference in that at all.
What are you referring to?
Because didn't we set up a complete banana republic there?
Well, I mean, and that's what led to them printing the money out into oblivion, I believe.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, this is just me speculating at this point because I don't know the full history of that. But yeah, we did have. I do remember we had some involvement with that. But then I think that regime was the one who, I would assume, just for greed. I think didn't they also try to nationalize? I used to know more about this because I remember Glenn Beck used to talk about it, and I watched a lot of Glenn Beck years ago. And I think that they nationalized their oil, and I think that was also part of the issue. Was you know, when you nationalize industries, you're going to ruin them. That's just how it works.
Yeah, it'll just get full of bureaucratic shit and corruption.
Yeah.
Like talking about this makes me realize every time they say our allies, like the American government says our allies, they're not actually, like, they're gaslighting us every time they say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Saudi Arabia, they are not our allies. They're people we're paying a shit ton of money to keep the petrodollar going.
Yeah.
And that's it. They don't give two shits. Like if we didn't pay them money, they would just start building up that next machine to fuck us over. We're basically bribing countries to not attack us.
Well, or
And-
just bribing countries. Just the petrodollar in and of itself. We're outsourcing our inflation, so we're bribing them to keep us going.
Well, yeah.
This is how we've avoided hyperinflation for so long.
We're bribing them to keep our convenience going.
Yeah, exactly.
Because so, I mean, imagine each country, the resources it had is what they had. Like until we found all the oil that was here in North America, like, yeah, we would have been completely dependent on the Middle East. Most places would.
Yeah.
And Russia and China. Mostly Russia and the Middle East, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's crock shit. Either way. And I hope. I don't know. I feel like DeSantis is going to end up getting. I feel like he's going to end up getting the nomination.
Who, DeSantis? You said?
Yeah.
How so?
Because he's bought. He's already bought.
Oh well, I mean, so you're saying they're going to cheat and get DeSantis the nomination?
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't get it just based on the voter base.
He's already out of money.
Yeah.
250
the voters
million
definitely don't want him, so they'll have to pull some shenanigans like the DNC did for Hillary.
They're either going to make sure Democrats win again, or they're going to make sure DeSantis is the nominee. Because there's no fucking way in hell they're going to let Trump, Vivek, or RFK get on the ticket.
Yeah, 2024 is going to be an interesting year to see what shenanigans they try to pull during the primaries.
Yeah,
And I'm surprised that we haven't seen any announcement of any other Democrat candidates.
I think they're trying to strategize which candidate, who they could shift to. Like because Newsom, he started up a bunch of accounts and stuff like that.
That's true. Like everybody, yeah, he hasn't announced yet, but it's obvious that he's campaigning.
Yeah, he definitely is. Nobody's going to vote for Kamala. They'd have to cheat. They'd have to rig the shit out of the system for that.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's dead. I don't think Michelle Obama's got it in her. Him.
They. Who knows anymore?
Oh my God!
Come on, Big Mike, announce.
Did you see Obama's ex talking about him fantasizing?
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, there was a skit on Jimmy Dore, and the guy who does the phone call-ins acting like Obama, and he said that was just some smooth ass jazz playing pussy getting at the liberal colleges. And if you can't see that, you might be gay. It was hilarious, man. Yeah. I don't know, man. 2024 is going to be fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's going to be fucking crazy. Dude, I love how they're trying to tear apart the Oliver Anthony song too.
Yeah.
They are so like, and even Jimmy said he didn't like the one about the obese milk and welfare and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it wasn't, to me, he's not trying to say that welfare isn't needed. He's just saying there are a lot of people who abuse it, and there are people who get welfare and food stamps and they trade it in for money.
Well, even libertarians don't not believe in welfare. They just don't believe in government mandated, funded welfare. They believe in free market welfare, charity. They believe that the free market handles these problems much more efficiently than The government will, because the government has no incentive to perform. Because their funds are guaranteed. They can either print it or they tax it, and there's no accountability for it. So there's no incentive to actually do well with those funds. In fact, you are highly incentivized to be corrupt, which is ultimately what happens. Whereas if I personally have a choice into where I give my money, I'm going to give my money into a charity that I research and I determine, okay, they handle their money well. Or if I look at this other charity and it's like, okay, they look kind of scummy, I don't give my money to them.
That's why I don't donate
the
to
market just does so much better.
All of the grocery stores and places like that, Salvation Army, I don't give them anything, because usually the ones that they're promoting are the worst ones.
Well, yeah, because that's just their tax havens.
Yeah.
Most of the time. And then they find a way to get a kickback out of it. So they don't lose that money. And so, yeah, rules for thee, but not for me.
Yep. Oh, man.
All right. Are we actually going to talk about climate change?
I don't know.
We got into
in case you guys didn't know, Hawaii is on fire, or was. Maybe still is. Probably still is a little bit.
Yeah.
So what's been your what type of stuff do you have on that? Because I have a very interesting piece.
So I've heard, obviously there's a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding what's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
Like we know the official story, is this perfect storm of the perfectly located hurricane that drew away all the moisture from the area, and then some high winds that, with the spark, the dryness of fire just kind of spread really rapidly.
And the non-native grass, which was prone to drying out. Like that's one thing, because Kurt Metzger, co-host with Jimmy, he brought that up. It's like, when you go to Hawaii, like, they check every fucking thing to make sure you're not bringing anything non-invasive to the island, because it can completely ruin the ecology there, and that would just destroy the islands. But there's this one invasive grass species that just happens to get there, and that's where. But
well, I heard that one of what was that one guy's position? There was something that I saw where this guy who was basically a diversity hire, and he was talking about the need for diversity, and I want to say it had something to do with like the ecological development on the island. But I can't remember. But this was the same case in California not that long ago. Remember?
Yeah.
This was during Trump's presidency, right? There was all these wildfires, and they were blaming it on climate change, and Trump was pointing out, just like, no, y'all don't manage your parks, and
you don't manage your forest.
The land, the forest, yeah. And so you just let all of this basically kindling pile up, and then when the fire comes, it just gets really bad. But everybody else.
You have any idea how many jobs that would create? If you could get a company that actually managed forests like they should be managed. Because in Japan, they're pretty good about it, because they have so many, like, all the landslides, and they don't want to have fires either. Like, they have to keep their shit managed very well. But Europe's a great place to look at for that, because you don't hear about this shit happening in Germany or France or places like that, not to this degree. And it's because they know, oh yeah, we should probably fucking keep all this kindling off the forest floor.
Yeah.
And like that, as many forests as we have around here in dry areas, or not extremely humid areas all the time, like fucking Florida. That would create so many jobs. It'd be ridiculous.
Well, except those areas are taxed to hell, so
yeah,
it's hard to start business out there.
So
like, one of the main reasons why I wanted to talk about this was because of how their government has been mismanaging everything, from the warning people to get out, I don't want to give too much credence to rumors until I can verify things, but there is talk that they weren't like allowing volunteers to come into the areas to help out where it's clear not to help out the survivors and just clean up.
Let's check.
And then they've also been they all this time they had actually been lying about how many people may have perished. There's over 1,000 people that are unaccounted for. That's what came out, I think, today. And I believe the guy who there was an official who resigned, and I think he.
It's the guy who's in charge of the sirens.
The emergency management, like director or whatever his title is. But yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look at this because this is the police chief. Apparently, he ordered cops to block cars from fleeing fire.
So the police chief is very suspect. I'm sure he's a criminal. If we just look hard enough, we're going to find his crime. In fact, you don't have to look that hard. By the way, this police chief, now here's the thing that people are making a big deal out of, that he was also the guy in charge of the Las Vegas Strip when there was a Las Vegas shooting massacre. So he goes from one unbelievable tragedy in America 4,000 miles away to the next big, huge tragedy. Just say people are saying it's suspect.
You know, I told you that thing. So they call Vegas in Hawaii. They call it the ninth island. Vegas,
yes,
there's a ton of people from Hawaii there.
That's right.
So there's probably some connection there, or he's related to somebody, or something like that. Is probably what it is.
So here he is. You tell me if this guy isn't corrupt. He won't answer questions.
Maybe it's different for you because you just got here, huh? So it's not the same.
So she's saying maybe it's different for you because you just got here, meaning he just moved to Maui. He wasn't living in Las Vegas. He was the cop in charge of the Las Vegas Strip during the massacre there, and she's saying maybe you don't care because you're new here. And look at him. What kind of a person acts like this?
Maybe it's different for you because you just got here, huh? So it's not the same. It's not the same. No comment. Wow.
She says, how come he always want to speak to the people? He only wants to speak to a camera, meaning at a press conference. And now here's a person, and you got this bald-headed sack of shit, this goon trying to interfere. Why can't he? So that guy's a criminal. There's no doubt in my mind that guy's a criminal, and the worst kind of criminal.
He wouldn't have got the job
if he wasn't
the most corrupt government of descendants of colonists of Hawaii.
So he presides over that, and then he's immediately handed the most cush job in the world of policing, the police chief on Maui. And listen to what this guy's story is. So this guy here he's been doing good work. He's interviewing as many people as he can find to talk about what happened. And here's one guy he found.
I think we should get out of here because of the speed of this wind. It could be here in 2 minutes. And
so about what time was this at? By the way, if you guys don't know who this is Fish. He's been sitting next to the Cheeseburger in Paradise, selling the most awesome stuff, right, for years. He's like a legend, and everyone loves Fish, and Fish loves everybody. But he's one of the wisest people that I know, by the way. Anyway, Fish, continue.
So I went around back to Front Street, and all the cars were lined up, but none of them were moving. And I walked all the way from Safeway to the Chart House. Not one car had moved. And I was wondering what was stopping the traffic. But it was a policeman. And I got to the end, and I looked up north. There were no obstructions. There was no reason to keep those cars there.
Are you serious?
I'm serious as a heart attack. And I said, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm under orders to keep them here. And I said, the fire is right around Safeway. It's going to hit Front Street. These people got to get out of here. And he's like, I'm following.
If you find yourself in that situation and a cop is blocking you, ram the car. Ram the fucking car.
Yeah, because at that point.
Yeah, at that point, he is committing a crime against you. He is violating your right to. He's basically he's violating your rights and putting you in danger.
Well,
he has become the
directly. That's a complete violation of public safety protocol too. Their job is to keep people safe and away from danger, not hold them in areas where danger is imminent.
Yeah, I mean it's homicide in my opinion. That cop needs to be tried and hung.
No way.
And I keep walking down the highway, and I look behind, no cars are coming out. I walked all the way to Waikuli Beach, still no cars coming out. And I started hearing boom, boom, boom. And then I heard people screaming and stuff.
You're saying they were blockaded in by the police at the end of Front Street?
Yeah.
Like where the restaurant is?
Right, where the chart house
Where the chart house was, I should
Right.
say. There was a blockade there and they could not go anywhere.
Right. I walked.
What the hell?
I walked all the way from Safeway to there. Not one car had moved. But all the way to, like I said, the Civic Center. And then I started hearing all the explosions, and there was no one walking behind me or on bicycles or anything. And I just,
dude, that is unbelievable.
I had no idea, until the next day when I walked down there to what had happened. I said, oh my.
So did you go up north to your place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe now you know why this guy doesn't want to answer any questions.
Like, dude, look at his face, man. Like, that's a dog who just shit all over the rug.
Mm-hmm.
That's the exact look. Like, that dude is keeping something so fucking quiet, it's stupid. So, I'm going to go back to my original conspiracy about the Canada fires. They're just destroying land to make it easier to buy so that they can develop on it and make owning property harder for people.
That theory has been floating around that BlackRock's been trying to obtain land in that area.
Mm.
And that has also given rise to the conspiracy theory that it was a direct energy weapon to start the fires.
Apparently there's rumors that people saw people run around with torches though too.
I mean, I'm not sure. We don't have any evidence of either at this point. I mean, it'll take a while to clean up because, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of people who just are missing. Likely, a lot of them are dead potentially.
At least 100.
So they just don't have an accounting for like over 1,000 people from that area.
This is the one that raises my eyebrow the most. Maui Company says request for water to fight wildfires delayed several hours while state consulted with farmers. And the guy who's in charge of this, the reason he delayed it so long is... yeah,
that's what I was getting at earlier. You see that the water equity phrase there? Yeah, there was a video of him talking about that.
Yep, I have that right here. This is the guy who was in charge of making sure that the land development company who owned the land that was on fire got access to water. And here are some of his musings.
The commission is responsible per our authorizing statute to protect and manage all water resources in the state. One Water is like looking at it from a holistic system perspective.
And what One Water is a type of almost religion.
Yeah, it sounds like a religion to me.
Yeah, that Hawaiians came from the water and they're of the water, so water is sacred as it is them.
And that's not any different than how Hawaiians traditionally manage water. In essence, Native Hawaiians treated water as one of the earthly manifestations of a god and a kua kane. And so that reverence for a resource and that reciprocity in relationship was something that was really, really important to our worldview and well-being.
So the god that they pray to for water, who they want to have a good relationship with, didn't want to keep his people burning up in fires. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Right? And living in an island, isolated from other, civilizations. And so I think where it shifted to today, or over time, is that we've become used to looking at water as like something which we use, and not necessarily something that we revere as that thing that gives us life, right? I mean, to me, it's a shift in value set. And, if we can start to really look at how we as humans in an island can reconnect to that traditional value set. So really my motto is always like, let water connect us and not divide us. Like we can share it, but it requires true conversations about equity.
True conversations about equity when it comes to how many people dying. Warnings that if we don't do this now.
Hey, Jessica.
I mean,
yeah, this
oh,
commie.
It's my favorite tranny. Where's mommy? How are you doing?
By the way, congratulations on getting all of your signatures to be on the ballot.
Ooh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I've not been keeping up with anything the past few days.
I'm barely keeping up with anything for weeks at this point. I'm just kind of jaded by it all. I'm just kind of waiting for the end times to really kick off.
Yeah. Well, and like Z talked about earlier, and what you said, like Canada having that new variant, like, yeah, again, I think it's going to come down to like red versus blue states and just what I don't think people are going to put up with that again. I think there's going to be, if they do that, I think there's going to be revolt in some areas and there's going to be riots in others. Riots are going to be in the cities.
Yeah.
Revolt is going to be in the rural areas. They're like, no, you're not doing this to me again. I need to fucking work. I got kids to feed. I got a job I got to keep. I'm not doing this. And I think you're going to see a whole lot more sheriffs like, yeah, we're not doing that.
I certainly hope so. Yeah, by the way, any cops out there and you follow that kind of order, you're a piece of shit. All right? Bottom line. Have enough dignity to disobey a bad order. Have enough integrity. Yeah, just have enough integrity to actually disobey a bad order. But
that's the
so many of
problem,
them don't. Huh?
That's the problem to me though. So used to be small towns, their local cops, like they had a great relationship with everyone in the neighborhood, right? And it's still like that to a degree in some areas. But big cities and stuff, you've got these politicians that are making all these laws. Who do these laws affect more? Do they affect them or do they affect the middle and lower class? Obviously, it's it's never the people in charge or the elites or anything like that. And so these cops have to enforce these asinine laws, which half of them, like, holy shit, he was going 5 over the speed limit. Who gives a shit? Like, everybody does. But that some cop can decide on. Did you know that a cop in most areas, if they wanted to pull you over on a yellow, they could, whether you stopped or went through it? Because if you stopped as soon as it turned yellow,
I think I have heard that before. Where
to be impeding
well, rather,
traffic.
if you try to beat the light, basically, if they interpret you as trying to beat the light, then they have grounds to pull you over. I've heard that before.
I've heard it can go both ways, because if you slow down too early for the yellow, then you're impeding traffic, or you're being a hazard for people who are trying to go through on a yellow.
Well, I mean, that's just like physically the truth.
Yeah,
in many areas.
I mean, that's true.
That's why those red light cameras ended up getting in some cities the judges have thrown them out because it causes more problems than it does generate revenue for the people running the lights, because people will just slam their brakes and get rear-ended.
Yeah.
Because they'd rather risk it than not, and then get caught by the camera. And they were also caught shortening the time on those lights to kind of force more revenue as well. That's something that they've been caught doing.
Yeah. And so you take these laws that are affecting that group of people, and then it almost doesn't matter unless those people have money to pay for a lawyer to just get them off.
Yeah.
99% of the time they're going to get slapped with a fine, or at least the minimum, probably in between the mid-range and maximum to the penalty. And then so that disenfranchises people from having trust in the public safety officers.
Yeah.
Then the public safety officers get backlash from the public because the rules and stuff that they're enforcing are fucking like fucking tag laws. That's fucking dumb. Like, the DMV knows if your tag is dead. They can send you something in the mail. You don't have to charge something. Like, there's probably reasons, like, well, especially now, you got somebody working fucking minimum wage, like a college student. Like, their tag might be dead for a little bit, but dude, vehicle tax now is ridiculous too. But anyway, so then the cops, they lose that relationship with the public. Then they're isolated. And then it's easier for the people who make the laws to bring them in and say, hey, just do this. We'll take care of you. And we don't care about that.
Right. Well, I mean, they're the ones who are, of course, writing their paycheck. And then they're the ones who are making the deals with the police unions. And they're the ones who are the purveyors of their insurance. Their health insurance, their dental, all of that, their retirement. And so I get the incentive. It's part of the issue is just kind of the structure of it all.
Yeah. Well, that's it makes you wonder too, like why are publicly elected sheriffs normally more apt to abide by the Constitution than city officials? And I think it's because that person's directly voted in and not just appointed.
Oh, 100%. It is. It makes a difference. I mean, it's not 100%. It's not like, oh, if a sheriff is voted in, then they're guaranteed to have integrity and follow the Constitution. It's like, no, but you are a little bit more likely if they're accountable to the voter to have that in the back of their mind. And it really just kind of depends on the community. What's the relationship with the community, and what's the relationship to the elected officials? Just like who are they cozy to? Like it just adds another layer, something else that's on their mind. Whereas if you're appointed, that's one layer of accountability that's been removed. In fact, that's the last layer of accountability that's been removed.
Yeah.
They are now accountable to the person who appointed them.
Yeah, because if you're voted in, like, you have to keep people happy. And if you don't, and people find out you're screwing around, you're not going to have that job next election cycle.
Right. This is why people need to get involved with local politics. This is why people, if you're in Colorado, specifically in Arvada, go look up this woman. She's running for city council. Her name's Jessica Finsky. Get involved with your local politics. And I know that's something I preach a lot and don't do as good a job, even in my own local. I'm working on it. But yeah, like local is so much more important than state and national.
Yeah.
And that's where you're gonna, if you're involved there, that's where you're going to get potentially the most impact. And that's what she's going for. She actually, this is why I admire Forest Lawn, because she actually wants to make change and positive impact on her community.
Yep, and she has no problem with being her natural self either.
Yes, she is authentic. So if you want an authentic person in office, she's your girl.
Damn it. Trying to get her Twitter so I can plug it in the chat.
Well, I think I remember that you told me about the other guy running in the city council. But yeah, y'all are killing it. Like they're showing you how it's done. And so to all the other Libertarian Party affiliates out there, use that as an example. And that's also me talking to myself, to my own affiliate. I don't think any of my guys are watching this. They know that I had the podcast, but they don't ever watch. But if any of y'all do happen to come across this, know that there are examples out there that we can follow. I wasn't gonna say anything, but since you put it out there. Yeah, like, I mean, it just keeps proving over and over again that on the national level, like even in the LP, I mean, it's just shown that they're just like the other parties, really. And that's all I'm going to say about it. If anybody really wants to research it, our detractors, the Mises Caucus detractors, are posting about the higher ups and those that are in the LNC about kind of why they don't think that they're great leaders. And not all of it's compelling. Some of it is. Some of it's probably embellished, because again, they're detractors, and I don't like them either. I've yet to find a good or see a good leadership in LP National, but that doesn't mean that we can't get focused on the local. There's still work to be done there. Just let the national be,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just reminds me of like all the detractors against the Richmond North of Richmond song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they know that it's a great fucking thing. Like, Mises Caucus is a great fucking thing, but they can't let them win, God forbid, or they'll lose control. That's what it's all about. They at that level, especially right now, because of the corruption we've allowed to continue by disenfranchising ourselves from the voting process and our civic duty, they don't care about anything but maintaining power and making more money. For the most part, there are still a couple of people who might do decent things, but there's always a payout. There's always something for them in it.
I think Thomas Massey is one of those where, I mean, I've yet to see anybody show nepotism done by Thomas Massey in Congress.
Yeah.
I mean, it may very well exist, but nobody's found it and exposed him. Like, the only thing he's been exposed for is for going against Trump on a couple of things. So MAGA goes after him every once in a while because he didn't agree with Trump, but he's a principled man. And I happen to agree with him on those issues as well. Like, he's the closest. Like, I consider him more libertarian than our actual libertarian guy in Congress, Amash. Like, I like Amash, but I think Massey's actually does a lot better.
Well, and he lives it out. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's literally his life is the epitome of what libertarians dream of doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just lives off his land. He built like his farm himself.
Yeah, I remember when he was on Timcast, he was talking about his chickens, how he's got an automated. He automated a machine that moves every minute, like a few inches.
Mm-hmm.
So it constantly keeps the chickens moving around the yard. So they're not just stuck in one area and then they pack all the greenery out and then they've got no natural food to select from.
Yeah, this is I believe is an accurate statement. Like he loves green and more environmental than the climate change Harveys. That is absolutely true, because he actually does. Like, that's what the libertarian philosophy is about. Is just like that we don't need to outsource this responsibility to some random person. We need to just do this ourselves. It's about human cooperation. If we cooperate with each other and see the same problem, we can fix it ourselves. Stop outsourcing it just so we can be lazy and be comfortable and complacent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've turned basic jobs that are needed to maintain a level of convenience into joke jobs. Like, get rid of all of your plumbers in the country. Get rid of all your waste management guys. Get rid of all the garbage men. See what happens. Like, some people could handle it. A lot of people won't. You saw what happened in New York City.
Yeah.
Dude, there were mountain piles of trash. Yeah. I don't know. So, God, like, that song though, just it hits it on almost every level, man.
It does.
Yeah, I've been listening to that, and I've been going back to old '90s rap.
Nice.
Like, I've been rocking DMX and Busta Rhymes and
Master P.
Dude, No, I haven't. I never really listened to a lot of Master P. Like make him say obviously, like everybody knew that
Well,
back in the
yeah.
day.
Mystical, my goodness. what
Yeah,
a throwback.
some mystical. Yin Yang Twins. P Diddy.
Yeah, he's
Biggie.
alright.
Yeah, he was all right. I liked.
He's more kind of poppy in my opinion. So
Yeah, that's true. Like I like more money, more problems. And I mean, Bad Boys for Life was just catchy. Yeah, he was more into that like Neptune side, where because Neptunes, that's what they were all about. They were just about like making pop hits, like catchy tunes and beats and stuff. And I mean, you know, then 10 years later, you know, Pharrell's coming out with Happy. Like, you're supposed to be some hard ass dude from the ghetto. Like, the fuck is this shit? I mean, I understand evolution, but Jesus Christ, man. The song's wider than me.
I love that song though. It's catchy for sure.
It's yeah, it is catchy.
It's
but
very easy to dance to.
I preferred Weird Al's remake of it. What was it?
I didn't know you made a remake of it. What is this?
What was it? Was it Trashy or?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look this up now.
Tacky.
Tacky? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that one up later.
Because I'm tacky.
I did not know he did a parody of that.
Yeah, it's him. I think Jack Black. I can't remember who the other two people are. Yeah. Yeah. But like all day, that's all I've been listening to. Like after my daughter left, I was like, I'm bumping this shit. I turned the bass all the way up on the surround sound and everything. Like I was going nuts. Got it. That DMX song. What's My Name? Dude, that was the hype song for the football team back in the day.
Dude, there's this clip or parody that people have been doing. I think it may have started on TikTok, but it's hilarious. There was a DMX mashup with the Reading Rainbow. And people are like doing this mashup and then doing like a kind of a fake reaction to it. It's hilarious though.
Okay, you realize I'm looking this up right now.
Okay. Just so you know, there is the N-word in it. So.
Oh, I don't care. It doesn't matter as long as I'm not saying it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. Let's see. Yeah, guys, this is. I know some people don't like rap, but this is gonna be hilarious.
Oh shit,
Butterfly in the sky.
Come on!
I can go twice the size.
Let's get it on.
I remember this.
Nigga.
In a book.
My nigga.
Reading rainbow.
Look at the fucking game.
Anyway.
Suck my dick.
To know
my nigga.
Ways to grow.
Nigga.
Reading rainbow.
Dude, here we go again.
I can be anything.
Same old shit.
What? Take a look.
Nigga.
In a book.
My nigga.
Reading rainbow.
This is the shit that we talking about.
Reading rainbow.
Which I really want.
Dude, this is when the internet was fucking the best. This is when the internet was the best.
Oh my gosh.
Because
it goes so well together. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the tracks are a little off, but yeah, because a lot of that was from What's My Name, like the intro to it. Dude, yeah. Yeah, like
one time we should do like we should maybe next week or we should look up old vines, man. Some of the old stuff from the internet back in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, Vines. I mean, that's basically what TikTok is now in shorts.
Yeah, but I'm talking about let's reminisce about some of the old stuff, man. See how much we remember.
Do you remember the G.I. Joe remakes? Oh my god.
Probably. I'll probably remember it when you bring it up. I vaguely remember this concept.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, I don't remember this.
Hey, you're not my friend.
Oh no, I do remember this.
I'm just kidding with you.
Hey man, who's that weird dude you're talking to, bro? My friends are here. Oh, cool. See you later. I want someone to take me to the hospital. You sure about that?
Hey, look, behind me.
Nice catch, Blanco Nino. But too bad your ass got sad.
Let's launch over it.
Oh god! I remember this.
I want some body massage.
I want some body massage. Body massage machine.
What did he just say to us?
Mr. Body massage machine. Go.
What the hell?
Body massage.
He's on your sleeve. Fire on your sleeve.
No.
Oh my gosh. I remember this. This just goes on for a while.
Yeah, so it's not as funny as I remember it, but back in the day, I laughed my ass off at this.
Yes.
Oh, hold on. I
Take anything out of our tent, did you? Really going so fast. Oh, fuck! Well, we gotta know what to do. What do we do?
Hey, what the fuck are you kids doing on my fucking lawn? And don't look at me when I'm fucking talking to you.
Help
Get that kid off my eyes, you little wankers. Alright, give him this.
Yeah, okay, so it's not as funny as I remember. They did come up with a spin-off of this, though. It was called, oh, God. Was it G.I. Joe Therapy?
Oh, wait, I forget that.
Action figure therapy.
Z might be too young for this.
She probably...
Yeah.
You might be. Like, these memes, this is old meme shit.
These are like the first memes.
Yeah.
Earliest of memes, and yeah.
Let's see.
What the hell is this?
Drinking problem? Hell, I ain't got no damn drinking problem. I just like to party. Everybody's too uptight around here. Last week, we all go out to Taco Tuesdays, have some cervezas and margaritas. I get a little tuned up on tequila shots. Then I go out to the parking lot to take me a piss. While I'm out there, I stole a cop car. Then I spray painted that son of a bitch yellow and made it look like a taxi cab. Shoot, I was driving around the city all night, picking up tourists at the airport, taking them wherever the hell they wanted to go for cash money. For an extra $25, I let them turn on the sirens and shoot street signs with the shotgun. I made $875 that night. I'm a goddamn entrepreneur. Drinking problem sounds more like a money-making problem to me. Hell yeah.
Like, just shit like that, man. Like, it's just basic voiceover. Like, this was the birthing of the voiceover, and what, oh my god. This one's long, but it's hilarious.
This is a question from a fan named Joseph Horton. Dear Jungle Recon, I love your pants. Where can I buy a pair like that? First off, thanks for the compliment and for the question. Secondly, quit staring at my dick. It's for ladies only, no matter how good it looks. And third, you can't just buy a pair of crotch accentuating jungle cat skin pants like these. You got to earn them. And that's just what I did. About 10 years back, I found myself lost deep in the Brazilian jungle after a cargo plane I'd hitched a ride on crashed on the way to a Thin Lizzy concert in Sao Paulo. No one on the crew survived, and I found myself naked, scared, and hungry in the middle of one of the most dangerous and inhospitable places on Earth. Mainly because I lost all my clothes in a game of strip poker with 2 of the female flight crew on board before we went down. And there I was, lodged in a tree, 40 feet off the ground, staring face to face with the ugliest, meanest, nastiest little creature I'd ever seen. At first, I thought it was a chupacabra, a creature I've faced off against vigorously on many occasions. But then I realized it was a damn monkey, a howler monkey to be exact. This little butthole-faced son of a bitch came right at me, all teeth and claws and screeching like death itself, doing donuts in the parking lot in a turbocharged 300Z. So I punched him, right in his little butthole-looking face, and then it was on. Dozens of these little bastards came pouring out of the woods and descended upon me like a one-eyed pregnant stripper with C-section scars, trying to get me to go into the champagne room for one last dance before last call. I had no choice, so I fought back, kicking and punching these little demonic leaf-eating dick nippers. Before you knew it, I had knocked out 4 or 5 dozen of them little sons of bitches, and the rest of them took off into the woods, probably to go beat off at how good my mustache looked while I was fighting them. I passed out from exhaustion, and the next morning, I woke up in a strange place. It was a village of indigenous people who had never had contact with people from the outside world. Turns out these little howler monkeys had been making their lives a living hell, stealing their food and taking huge monkey dumps in their water supplies, and I had rid them of this monkey scourge. That night, they threw a big party, and the tribe built a statue in my honor, made out of monkey doo-doo that stands 8 feet tall and has a 15-inch dong. And I'll tell you right now, that statue is 100% anatomically correct and to scale. The celebration ended with the tribe presenting me with 3 of their virgin women, which I immediately swapped out for an older, sluttier one. I ain't got time to be teaching love making to these rainforest newbies. Bring on that weatherpoon. It's time to do some vintage gash hunting. And they also gave me this pair of hand-tailored jaguar skin pants with a tearaway crotch that I had them custom installed before I headed out of town the next morning. As I left, the elder shaman of the tribe gave me a special name, Diwu Ski Wimbak Mama Bam Alaka Kolakun Ki Bama Ni Guana, which means naked god who came from the sky to fight a bunch of dick-headed monkeys with his boner. I have never been prouder of anything given to me in my life, besides that hand job I got from the Olsen twins on their 18th birthdays. Hell yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh
God, the honey badger. Holy shit, that's another one. You have to watch that one.
Okay.
Anyway, okay, so
yeah.
So people are probably like, "What the fuck is this shit that they're looking at?" What? Yeah, dude, the honey badger one is fucking hilarious.
You watch Homestar Runner at all?
Huh?
Did you watch Homestar Runner at all?
That sounds familiar.
You remember Strong Bad?
Yeah. Strong Bad.
We gotta throw a rave on here someday.
Throw what?
A rave.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Let me know if you caught that reference in the chat. And Footy old enough to catch that.
Oh yeah, Z's lost.
Yeah, Z's like, oh my gosh, what's up with these guys? We're old, Z. That's what.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my camera. Hold on a second.
We are boomies. Yeah, I think I'm good. I think we covered everything, didn't we?
We did. Plus a lot more.
Yeah. Good chatting. Hopefully everybody had a laugh or two at least. See, I don't know what that emote means. Like,
I think that means confusion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense now. Well, shit. I think I'm gonna go to the hospital. See what's going on with my hip. And yeah, I don't know. I might wait till tomorrow. Like, the only thing that bothers me is it's actually sore to the touch, which is usually not a good thing in that area. So I don't know. I might wait till in the morning and see how it's feeling. If it's feeling the same, I'm definitely going.
Mhm.
But if I don't know, let's go wait and see. Which is, I guess, something you get used to doing once you've dealt with our health system for a while continuously. Like, well, been there, done that. And God, I know they're gonna like quarantine me too because I've got COVID and I'm supposed to be on quarantine until Tuesday.
They still doing that shit?
Yep.
Lame.
But if I get a night, I'm just gonna have them do another one anyway.
Mhm.
See if it's still active. But anyway, you got anything, man?
No, just happy to be here. It's been fun, man.
Everybody go touch grass. Have some fun.
Yes, get outside. It's cooling off a little bit. Hope we're getting close to September, getting close to fall. It's gonna be some. I think we're gonna have some. I think we're gonna have a beautiful autumn this year.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. It's gonna be really good for running too.
Yeah, I need to try to go out to the coast. I don't think I'm gonna be able to go to the coast for a while. Not until we get some things taken care of. But well, everybody, I'm Flagrant Triggers. You can find me at the socials linked below. We're still working on the website. I guess we should just go ahead and get the campaign put together, huh?
Yeah, we need to finalize those details so we can launch it.
Yeah. Seems like every fucking time I get ready to start something.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm still gonna do it.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
you just gotta,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what you can do.
Like, if there was one thing that Nike got right, it was their motto: "Just do it." Or slogan.
Yeah, they were probably talking about kids, but yeah, sure.
Damn it! Don't ruin it for me.
All right, guys. Crash, where can they find you?
Just Crash Mono JR. Any system that, any social media. I mean, I exist on there. I don't post much. I'm trying to follow my own advice and stay more focused in real life. So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
That
people are
just
happier that
like
way.
Twitter's where I'm most active, but even then, I barely do anything on there anymore either because I think it's going to shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like we talked about earlier, I think him adding, if he does go to personal ID, I think it's going to crash it.
Yeah.
Hey, it'll save threads, right? What fucking dumpster fire that turned out to be.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, in the end, I'd consider that a net plus to society because if social media fails, then hopefully that will incentivize people to, actually get outside and have real relationships. It's what we really need. We need community back.
I think we're going to see that for a period until VR tech gets really, really good. I think because I've actually started watching an anime this weekend, and it was about people who had what's called a neural link.
Oh my
or
God.
something very similar. It was neuro something, but like virtual reality played through their head. And they could be in any world they wanted to, do whatever they wanted. And literally the protagonist of this show, his real life sucked, so he lived in VR. And yeah. Anyway, maybe we'll talk about anime one day. Really bore the shit out of people.
I think we got some anime fans in here.
Yeah.
I know Z's an anime fan.
Yeah,
Right? Aren't you, Z?
Z is definitely.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she is.
Yeah.
Guys, go hit up Chrissy. Chrissy's next. So
That's right. It is Sunday night. So yeah.
Yeah.
Over to Simcast.
Yeah, just subscribe, share, leave us a comment. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you